Hello everybody, my name is Nosha and today we're going to learn about variables. In a JavaScript application, we often deal with informations. Let me give you a couple of examples to better understand this concept. Imagine you're building an online shop. In this case, the information would include details about the goods being sold, such as their names, prices, and descriptions. Additionally, you will also have a shopping cart to keep track of the items that users add to their orders. Now let's consider a chat application. Here, the information would involve data about the user who are chatting, such as their username, profile, pictures, and status. Moreover, you will need to manage the messages being exchanged between users, including their content, timestamp, and read status. So, in both scenarios, an essential part of our JavaScript application is handling and working with various types of information. We achieve this using variables to store and organize the data in our programs. A variable is like a named storage that can hold important data in our programs. It could be anything from simple value like number or text to more complex information like details about visitors or items in our online shop. To create a variable, we use the let keyword. It's like giving a name to a box where we will keep our data. For example, here we declare a variable called message. Now this line tells JavaScript to create a variable named message that can store data. But a variable is not that exciting until we put something in it. To do that, we use assignment operator just like this. Now message holds the value hello inside it. Once we have something stored in a variable, we can access it anytime using its name. For example, this will show the content of the variable, which is hello. Isn't it cool? We can easily access our data using the variable name. To save time, we can combine the variable declaration and assignment in one line, just like this. This defines the variable and assigns the value. Sometimes we may need to declare multiple variables at once. While it is possible, it's better to keep things clear and use one line per variable, just like this. However, some programmers prefer a different style, where they put multiple declarations in a single line or use the comma first style, just like this. Both ways work fine, but for better readability, we recommend using one line per variable. The multi-line variant is a bit longer but easier to read, just like this. Some people also define multiple variables in this multi-line style, just like this. Technically, all variants do the same thing, so it's a matter of personal taste and aesthetics. Okay, now let's choose between war instead of lead. In older script, you may also find another keyword, war instead of lead. War message equals hello. The war keyword is almost the same as lead. It also declares a variable, but it's slightly different, old school way. There are subtle differences between lead and war, but they do not matter for us yet. We will cover them in detail in the chapter The Old War. Now let's continue our exploration of variable in JavaScript with a real life analogy. Imagine a variable as a box for data, and each box has a unique label on it. For example, let's think of a variable message as a box labeled message, and we'll put the value hello inside it. Now we have our box message with the value hello inside it. But here is the cool part. We can change the value inside the box as many times as we want. This will show, okay, the value changed to world. This will show the content of the variable, which is now world. When we change the value, the old data in the box is replaced with the new data. So in the end, the box holds the most recent value. We can also have multiple boxes and copy data from one to another. Copy hello world from hello into message. Now both variables hold the same data. So now we have two boxes, hello and message, both containing the same data, hello world. Our important rule with variable is that we should declare each variable only once. If we try to declare the same variable again, it triggers an error. To avoid errors, we should declare a variable only once and then refer to it without using let again. Variables are like labeled boxes that store data, and we can put anything we want in them. They allow us to manage and change information in our programs effectively, so keep practicing and experimenting with variable, and you will become a master of data handling in JavaScript. Now let's talk about functional languages. It is interesting to note that there exist so-called pure functional programming languages, such as Haskell, that forbid changing variable values. In such languages, once the value is stored in the box, it's there forever. If we need to store something else, the language forces us to create a new box. We can't reuse the old one. Though it may seem a little odd at first sight, these languages are quite capable of serious development. More than that, there are areas like parallel computations where this limitation confers certain benefits. Now let's talk about variable naming in JavaScript. There are some rules we need to follow when naming variables. The variable name can only contain letters, digit, or symbols like dollar sign and underscore. Special characters like at, hash, or percentage are not allowed. Example of valid names. The first character of variable name must not be a digit. It can be a letter, dollar sign, or underscore. When the variable name contains multiple words, we commonly use camel case. This means that each word starts with the capital letter except for the first word. What's interesting in that both the dollar sign and the underscore can be used in names. They are treated just like regular letters and have no special meaning. Example of valid name using dollar and underscore. A variable name dollar with the value 1, another variable name underscore with the value 2. This will show 3. Now let's look at some example of incorrect variable names. Invalid cannot start with the digit. Invalid hyphen aren't allowed in the name. Remember, it is crucial to follow these rules when naming variables to avoid errors in our code. Additionally, JavaScript allows us to use non-Latin letters like Cyrillic or Chinese logograms in variable names. However, it's not recommended because there is an international convention to use English in variable names. This makes our code more accessible to people from different countries who may read our code in the future. So let's keep our variable names clear, concise, and in English to make our code readable and maintainable for everyone. There is a list of reserved words which cannot be used as variable name because they are used by the language itself. For example, let, class, return, and function are reserved. This code gives an error.